what was it? I feel like, everything moves so quickly now that we don't take enough time to appreciate when big things happen. That's why, I want to spend so much time talking about this match with Adam Page, because I feel like that's one of those massive things, but also Wembley. I mean, you that have wrestled in every conceivable venue, from every indie venue to WWE to COVID era where you're wrestling in front of literally nobody, to now, I mean, you're here. And I think that's the story of a lot of people in AEW. You're here in front of 80,000 people. That's not something most people, even in wrestling, ever get to do. Number one, I mean, what did that just feel like being there? And number two, sharing a ring, not only with Christian, which would have been enough, but sharing a ring with Sting. What was that like?
For that day, it was just, I was in work mode.
Yeah.
I was just in performance.
Yep.
Make this matter.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until after I looked back on it, it was just wow, I did it. That's incredible. I found a way, and I found a way to make it meaningful in a historic setting. The event itself is historic. Just being there is making history. From everybody from Hook all the way to the top with Kip Sabian on commentary to the main event with Adam Cole and MJF. Everybody mattered and everybody made history. So I want everybody to understand regardless whatever part you played in that, you made history. So don't think whatever little job you did. No, everybody mattered. So, but for the fact of just me being in there with icons and legends, and a Darby who we've shared couches with, Sammy Callahan in Florida, is just wow, we made this happen. And Sting, an icon, just getting his moment and to be a part of that. We're in history with that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And tagging with Christian, one of the greatest tag team wrestlers of all time. To me, my fan moment, I had one, was us hitting double spears at the same time.
Sure.
Which was a precursor to you seeing Adam Copeland come in later on, a couple months later. It was didn't know that was going to happen. So, but that was just that event. And then having DJ Who Kid and my man Flash Garments, who's steadily to this day, Flash Garments is changing my life. One business meeting at a time. We just had another one last night. I'll go into that later. But this man has changed my life. Got me in the studio with freaking Grammy winners. Got me to go to the Grammys.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So that's something I always wanted to give back to that man, and having him do that in front of 80,000, as an independent artist, not signed. That was our work with DJ Who Kid, who's, Who Kid more than anybody, just the character that he is.
I mean, dude, so I first of all, I love that I love Who Kid being involved in wrestling.
Yeah.
Is the most, because I've known him for years through radio, and we've done shows together, and but I'll never forget when he first showed up in AEW. I texted him while he was on television and went, "Hey, idiot, if you're going to be on television, why are you wearing a ski mask? No one can see your face."
Yeah.
Well, I was just trying to look cool, man. I was just trying.
I don't know. It's funny. It's he just kind of just winged it throughout his life.
His whole life.
Yeah. But it's just that's,
but it works.
Yeah, it works. And so just having him just be hey, could you just wing it one more time on this entrance? Flames are popping up. He's oh snap, that's hot. I like this. This dude, just works with 50 Cent, did Lil Wayne's last 2 weeks ago, just did Miami with Travis Scott, Eminem's DJ, went to the Super Bowl. I was in LA went to the LA Rams game the day after the death match, and they show Gunna is at the stadium, and what, everybody look, yada yada yada, it's Gunna here, and everybody, and then Who Kid's right behind, oh, I'm
of course he is.
I'm you're here. So I'm this is my favorite team. Get out of here. You're ruining this for me. But it was just to have that core representation of guys, and then Nana getting his moment.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like you thought he like had his time in the sun and he just walked off in the sunset. Like, no, he's here, the biggest moment. You know, to give that to these guys, that's what I feel like my biggest power is. I can generate my energy to the people close to me that really, really deserve it and really like should be there in that moment, you know?
Yeah.
And that was a lesson that was taught to me from Sammy Callahan. Like, dude, if you have something, like, don't just harness that for yourself. You lend it out to like the ones that care. Make it a small circle. Not everybody should get that. Not everybody gets like your energy and your power. But the ones that have been there, that like have got you further, you give it back, you know? And that's what that was for me. And then like that was the 50 years of hip hop celebration. That's like the same month. So it was like, oh, let's celebrate 50 years of hip hop on this entrance. So there's a tribute there. The Jimmy Rave robe as the crown jewel of the embassy. Now the Mogul Embassy, you know, rebranded. There's just a lot of pieces to that entrance that made that match just so memorable. And Darby like jumping off of on a casket, coffin dropping, you know, me being able to like just manhandle Sting in a way. It's like I had to swerve stomp on Sting in Wembley Stadium, which was a move that Rich Swann just gave to me because him and Shima used to do it in Japan. So we were like, hey, we did this before. You should do it. I'm like, okay, cool. In like 2012. So it's just like a lot of like come to Jesus moments. It's like, oh my God, this is like real. Like this is really inspiring. Hopefully that can be inspiring to somebody. But like it's an inspiration to be with these guys that are inspirational to me in my childhood growing up.